Hey guys, welcome back. Today's something a little bit different. I have a Reverend here with me, a Mercalli 5. I picked this up online. It was fairly cheap. Somebody was getting rid of it because they had it, I don't know, 5, 6 years. I think they said it was from 2020. And it was pretty beat up. The electronics were not doing so hot. The nut was pretty bad. The tuners even had some issues. And so I thought, yeah, why not? Let's do a project. Most of you probably have heard of Reverend or played a Reverend if you don't own one. So I have this 5-string. I also have a 4-string Thunder Gun and another 4-string Mercalli. I wanted a 5-string because I play 5-string more and more often, and I thought having this and then maybe using it as a project bass would be kind of cool. So to tell you what I did to it, what you might notice is typically the Mercallis and the Reverends have three knobs here in the electronics. The electronics that were in it before were totally shot. They did not work really well. The pickups were kind of weak, and especially the low B on this sounded not so great. What they have usually is a volume, tone, and a pan pot. I've swapped this out. I prefer to have passive and active options on basses, so I put in here a John East UNI-PRE 4-knob. So I have now volume and balance. I have treble and bass. I have mid and a mid sweep, so I can choose the frequency of the mids, and then I have an active passive tone and a push-pull. So I was able to put that in there. What did that mean? That meant that I had to drill a hole for an extra knob, but no big deal. That was pretty easy. The cavity in the back left plenty of room for the preamp itself. The other thing that I had to do here on the back is then add a battery compartment. So this was all brand new for me. This is the first time I ever did it, and I definitely made some mistakes. I don't know if you can see it from there, but I scratched a bit of the finish off the bass here, and then I cut it slightly too big. I had to fill in some of the hole here. It was just a little peak that you could see through, but no big deal. Right, it was a project bass. It really wasn't that expensive, and so I thought, yeah, I've always kind of wanted to do those projects on my own, and I did that. So I was able to add this so that I could actually access the battery a bit easier than having to take the panel off. So it was a cool, interesting project for me. The other thing I did was I actually, for the first time, made my own nut. I bought bone blanks online, and then I found a really cheap set of the Music Nomad bass files, and I was actually able to cut it. It's the first nut I ever made. It's probably far from perfect, but it works pretty well, and actually it improved the sound quite a bit. The sustain is a bit longer. It feels a bit tighter, which is great. The last thing I did was I changed out the tuners. There were the Hipshot licensed tuners, which are the slightly less quality version of the USA tuners. I changed them out because they were also not really working super well. They were slipping a lot. I don't know if that's just over time that they went bad. There was also some bubbling, and I guess was like a plastic, maybe a plastic cover around the nut itself or around the tuning head. So I swapped them out. I mean, that's also fairly easy. The only thing that is a bit of a headache, something to keep in mind, is that even though they're a 1/2 inch, the Hipshot tuners, the USA ones, actually don't fit directly in here. You have to take some of the material out to make them fit. So I had to do that using a Dremel, make the hole slightly bigger so that the full nut can fit in. And yeah, so that actually should have been the easiest part. That was not the easiest part. The nut I thought was going to be the hardest part, and actually was pretty easy. And the electronics itself, this was a bit nerve-wracking because I didn't want it to look terrible. I didn't want it to be weird, but in the end, I think it looks pretty normal, right? Nothing totally weird. And the same for this in the back. I found this, I was going to use this on a project some time ago when I had an old Stingray, but then I felt a bit weird about cutting out something from an old Stingray in order to make this fit as opposed to the old kind of metal screw-in plate. But then I used it for this project, so it was pretty cool. Overall, I'm pretty happy. And I also did these kind of inlay stickers, right? Not perfect, but I like the vibe of that over the rosewood fretboard. I'm not much of a rosewood fretboard person. I prefer maple. So overall, I like it. It sounds good. It feels good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to play something now, some examples so you can hear it with and without music, and you let me know how it sounds. Here we go. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Wasn't supposed to be a deep dive. I just wanted to give you kind of a quick sense of this bass and the stuff that I did on it. If you want to see something a bit deeper, if you want to know more about the preamp, if I should dig a bit deeper there, if you want to know how I worked on the bass, opening the cavity, battery compartment, any of those things, I'm kind of just picking up those things as I go, trying to, be able to work on those projects on my own. I think it's kind of fun. It's nice to work with your hands. It's nice to do something different and also to be able to do it, right? Dealing with it. One thing I forgot to mention with the preamp is that's actually solderless, which is also helpful. But it's still very helpful to have soldering skills because there are different things like removing the previous preamp. It's much nicer to unsolder the leads from the pickups, for example, as opposed to cutting the wires, right? Then you cut it short. And also when you are putting the new pickups or the old pickups into a preamp, tinning them, things like there are small skills and useful things to learn. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that stuff, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.